Welcome to Liberty Voice USA, where we cut through the noise of partisan spin to deliver the unfiltered truth about the political battles shaping our democracy. In a time when power brokers wield influence like weapons and free speech hangs by a thread, our mission is simple: to arm you with facts, expose the manipulations, and remind us all that accountability isn't optional, it's the bedrock of a free society. Today, we're diving into a confrontation that's electrifying the airwaves and testing the limits of our constitutional protections. It's a story of one Congresswoman's unyielding stand against what she calls an outright threat from the nation's top law enforcement official, all sparked by criticism of a billionaire's grip on government. This isn't just a clash of personalities. It's a stark reminder of how far some will go to shield the powerful from scrutiny. Let's unpack it step by step, because in the end, the truth doesn't bend to threats. It stands firm. To understand the firestorm, we have to start with the man at its center, Elon Musk. As the unelected head of the newly minted Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, Musk has become the architect of sweeping federal cuts under the Trump administration. Billions in spending slashed, thousands of civil servants fired overnight, and a wave of economic pain rippling through communities that relied on those programs. It's no secret that Musk's vision, streamlined government at any cost, has ignited fury across the country. Polls show over half of Americans view him unfavorably, seeing not an innovator, but a disruptor wielding unchecked power from his perch at the top of the world's richest list. And in that fury, a movement was born, the Tesla Takedown. Peaceful protests at Tesla dealerships nationwide, designed to hit Musk where it hurts, his wallet and his brand. Organizers emphasize nonviolence, legal counsel, and economic pressure as the tools of change. It's grassroots democracy in action, the kind that echoes the civil rights marches of old, demanding accountability from those who play kingmaker without a vote.
Enter Representative Jasmine Crockett, the fierce Democrat from Texas, serving on the very DOGE Oversight Committee tasked with keeping an eye on Musk's empire building. On March 29th, her birthday no less, Crockett joined a virtual rally for the Tesla Takedown. In a moment that's now looped endlessly online, she laid out her wish with the kind of raw honesty that politicians rarely muster. On March 29th, it's my birthday, she said, her voice steady and laced with that signature Crockett fire. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. She wasn't calling for pitchforks or chaos, far from it. Crockett hammered home the message of peaceful action, urging protesters to consult lawyers, to channel their energy into boycotts and demonstrations that speak the only language the elite understand: money. I have learned, as I serve on the DOGE Oversight Committee, that there is only one language that the people in charge understand right now, and that language is money. It was a call to economic activism, a plea for the rest of us who can't snap their fingers for federal contracts or Secret Service shadows whenever criticism heats up. And on that day, over 500 protests unfolded worldwide. Peaceful gatherings, signs waving, voices rising in unison against what many see as a billionaire's undue sway over public policy.
But peace didn't stop the spin machine from churning. While most Tesla takedown events stayed true to their nonviolent roots, isolated incidents of vandalism at dealerships provided the perfect opening for those eager to conflate protest with peril. Enter Attorney General Pam Bondi, Trump's pick to helm the Department of Justice, a former Florida prosecutor with a track record of fierce loyalty to the administration. Bondi didn't waste time. She branded the vandalism domestic terrorism, vowing prosecutions that could land perpetrators in prisons as far away as El Salvador. And then she turned her sights on Crockett, Appearing on Fox News' Sunday Morning Futures, Bondi issued a warning that chilled the room and the nation. She is an elected public official, so she needs to tread very carefully because nothing will happen to Elon Musk, and we're going to fight to protect all of the Tesla owners throughout this country. It wasn't a suggestion, it was a directive, laced with the implication that crossing Musk's path could invite the full weight of federal scrutiny. Days later, on Hannity, she doubled down, accusing Crockett of threatening lives and stoking further insurrection. She must unequivocally denounce the violence, Bondi demanded. She must apologize immediately, not only to all Texans, but to our country, to the American shareholders of Tesla, because she is promoting violence. Bondi painted Crockett's words as a clarion call to arms, twisting a metaphorical takedown into a literal threat, all while ignoring the Congresswoman's explicit calls for legality and calm.
This wasn't subtle. As the nation's chief law enforcer, Bondi's words carried the echo of authority, the kind that can summon subpoenas, investigations, or worse. For a black woman in Congress who's built her career calling out hypocrisy, it landed like a gauntlet thrown down. Was this protection of free enterprise or protection of a favored oligarch? Crockett saw it for what it was: intimidation, plain and simple, an attempt to muzzle dissent by invoking the specter of DOJ retribution, and she wasn't about to back down. Just days later, on April 2, during a House Judiciary Committee hearing, Crockett seized the microphone and dismantled Bondi's gambit with the precision of a constitutional scholar and the passion of a street fighter. To have her go on Fox News and then decide that she wanted to send a threat to me, Crockett declared, her voice rising with controlled indignation, it was wrong. She is the highest law enforcement agent in this country, and people are watching, and they are consuming this information. She paused, letting the weight settle before driving the point home, and they are believing that simply because I decided that I wanted to exercise my right to free speech, which I am not abridged from doing, that she then wanted to politicize something that should not be politicized.
Crockett didn't stop there. She flipped the script, refusing to let Bondi's narrative define her. "I don't like Elon Musk," she said, flatly, defiantly. "I'm going to say it 50,000 times." It was a mic drop moment, a declaration of unapologetic truth-telling that rippled through the hearing room and beyond. She recounted her joy at the global protests on her birthday. "I was happy to see peaceful protests around this world," and reiterated her guidance to demonstrators: consult lawyers, stay within the law, fight smart. But beneath the defiance lay a deeper critique, one that cuts to the heart of our democracy's fragility. The rest of us can't get whatever federal contracts we want, get protection from federal law enforcement, and get their businesses protected by the federal government like Musk. That is somebody who is operating above the law. It's a contrast as sharp as it is sobering. While everyday Americans face the fallout of DOGE's acts, lost jobs, gutted services, Musk glides through with taxpayer-backed shields, his companies fattened on government deals, while he reshapes policy from the shadows.
And let's not gloss over the pattern here. Crockett didn't hesitate to connect the dots to a broader assault on dissent. The fact that there are other sitting members that have received letters of threat from this new DOJ, she noted, tells me that they are about retribution and they are not about following the law. This isn't hyperbole. It's the lived reality of a Justice Department that's morphed from impartial guardian to partisan enforcer. Bondi's history only sharpens the irony. A prosecutor once accused of shielding Trump from scrutiny during his first impeachment, now turning the full force of her office against a vocal critic. While Crockett wields words as weapons for justice, Bondi deploys them to defend the indefensible, blurring the line between public servant and private bodyguard. It's the kind of hypocrisy that erodes trust one warning at a time, reminding us how quickly law and order becomes code for loyalty or else.
Crockett's takedown extended beyond the hearing chamber. On MSNBC's Alex Witt reports, she preempted the clip artists with crystal clarity. So just in case the slow people listening decide to clip this up later, I just want to say that I have never promoted violence whatsoever. It was a preemptive strike against the distortion machine, a journalist's dream of forthrightness in a sea of sound bites. And the public response? Electric. Social media lit up with support, clips of her 50,000 times line going viral as a rallying cry for free expression. Even as Fox News aides tried to stonewall reporters probing the violence angle, literally stepping into cameras to block questions, Crockett's silence in those moments spoke volumes. Her actions, not her evasion, would define the narrative. Meanwhile, Bondi's camp doubled down, but the cracks showed. Accusations of inciting violence rang hollow against Crockett's record of advocating for the marginalized, from voting rights to police accountability. This wasn't about Tesla shareholders. It was about silencing a voice that refuses to whisper.
Zoom out. This skirmish reveals the fault lines running through our republic. Elon Musk, once the darling of innovation, now embodies the perils of plutocracy. A single man, unelected and unaccountable, pulling levers that upend lives. His DOGE role, sold as efficiency, feels to many like a hostile takeover, while federal agencies are hollowed out while his empire expands. Protests like Tesla Takedown aren't anti-progress, they're pro-democracy, a reminder that power unchecked corrupts absolutely. Bondi's threat, then, isn't just personal, it's institutional, a signal to every critic, speak up and the hammer falls. Yet Crockett's response flips that script, embodying the First Amendment's defiant spirit. By calling out the threat for what it is, she doesn't just defend herself, she defends us all. In a landscape where politicians apologize for existing and billionaires buy influence, her refusal to bend is a beacon. It forces us to ask, who watches the watchers? When does protection become privilege? And how do we reclaim a government of, by, and for the people from those who'd auction it off to the highest bidder?
This episode also underscores a painful truth about our divided media ecosystem. Fox News, Bondi's chosen stage, amplifies the warnings while downplaying the context. Peaceful intent twisted into peril, a birthday quip into insurrection. It's the echo chamber effect at its most potent, where facts bend to fit the frame. Crockett, ever the bridge builder, navigates this with a blend of wit and wisdom. Her viral moments, like that infamous bleach-blonde, bad-built butch body zinger from impeachment hearings, proving she's as relatable as she is resolute. But beneath the memes lies a congresswoman who stared down systemic racism, corporate greed, and now executive overreach. Her stand isn't performative, it's principled. A thread in the larger tapestry of resistance against erosion of rights. As we wrap this up, consider the stakes. Jasmine Crockett didn't just destroy Pam Bondi's threat, she exposed its fragility, a house of cards built on intimidation rather than integrity. In doing so, she reaffirmed what democracy demands: courage in the face of coercion, truth over timidity. We can't let the powerful police our speech, or soon there'll be none left worth hearing. Let's honor that by staying vigilant, supporting those who speak truth to power, and holding every institution, from the DOJ to the boardroom, to the fire of accountability. Because in the end, it's not about liking or disliking Elon Musk.
It's about ensuring no one, not even the richest among us, operates above the law we all live under. Stay tuned, stay aware, and stay truthful. This is Liberty Voice USA, where facts speak louder than politics.